RMJ movie reviews back again. And I'm coming with an on-the-fly movie review of The Magnificent Seven, starring Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Well, The Magnificent Seven. Guys, I know like a lot of times when I do movie reviews, I get kind of so deep into my thoughts and I talk a lot. So I'm kind of trying to condense kind of my thoughts. Maybe I might start separating videos where I do long discussions of films and then do short reviews. I'm just going to have to weed it out a little bit and see how it works out. But some of my reviews have been coming out a little bit too long, I think. So I'm going to try a little bit to condense it. So either way, on to the film. The Magnificent Seven, I know, is a remake of a remake of a remake, blah, 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 blah. I've never seen the original version, but I'm very familiar with it. I'm very familiar with the older Westerns. How do I feel about Westerns personally? I like Westerns. I don't mind them. I like Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood from the 80s. I remember seeing that film. I like Unforgiven. As you saw on my channel, I like Posse. And I've seen, goodness, what is it called? The Searchers. The Searchers, I like that film. And I've seen some of the older Westerns from back in the day and some of the newer ones from now. But I've never seen any great quality Westerns like Bad Girls or anything like that. If anybody even remembers that movie with Madeline Stowe. And there's a couple other people. I think Drew Barrymore was in that movie too. But either way, The Magnificent Seven, I was not anticipating this movie at all. Didn't have anything. When I heard it was a remake, I was just like, just stop this, guys. But whatever. But when I heard Denzel was attached, Antoine Fuqua was directing, I was like, all right, cool. Count me in. I'm on board. Because Antoine Fuqua, when he originally came out, I never particularly cared for The Replacement Killers. I can kind of tolerate it a little bit more now, and I really never cared for Bait. Although I really liked the way that movie is shot, but I just never liked it. But I didn't really kind of get on board with Fuqua until he did Training Day. And pretty much everything after that I like. I never saw King Arthur. But I love Brooklyn's Finest. I like Shooter. I think Shooter's cool, even though a lot of people don't remember about it. I even like Tears of the Sun, even though that gets a lot of crap. But I think that's a pretty intense film. Very good score, well shot, good action in that film. A little skimpy on the character development, and I think kind of what applied to Tears of the Sun pretty much applies here with Magnificent Seven. You got a lot of characters, a lot of tough guy stuff, wink, wink. You got beautiful cinematography. You got beautiful music and well shot action. Only problem is you don't really get a chance to really know the characters. Yes, you kind of get a chance to know them as good as you can, but not really. The characters for me, in my personal opinion, for everybody across the board in the entire film, even including Denzel, I think they all just kind of fell flat. I wasn't emotionally involved with anybody in this film. Nobody. Not even Chris Pratt with his winking and cracking jokes. I wasn't involved with any of the characters. Regardless of that fact, it was fun. It was fun, brainless fun. I think, in my opinion, they shouldn't have released the movie now. Kind of my opinion on it is, when you look at a movie like The Nice Guys, right? I really like that movie. I think The Nice Guys should have been released now, probably at this date in September, and The Magnificent Seven should have been released in July, because this is a summer movie. I think I read some little thing online where they were kind of, some people who work for studios, I guess the studio that released The Equalizer, Denzel Fuqua's last movie. I think supposedly they said that they don't feel that Denzel is making as much money as he used to be, blah, blah, blah. They think it might have something to do with him being black or older. I don't know, something behind that. But either way, I think they got cold feet on this, and that's why they released it now, because they thought it would make more money. But I personally think the film should have came out in July, since it was a lackluster summer anyway, and all the movies have pretty much been lackluster, going all the way back to spring, pre-spring. But regardless, it was a fun film. I had fun with it. It was too long. Way too long. Now, here's my thing. I'm okay with movies like the Godfather and Heat, and I didn't even mind that Batman vs Superman was so long, because that's a different story. you had to build on all those things. So I was okay with Batman. I know a lot of people complain, but I mean, I didn't really even feel the length of Batman vs Superman. That was okay with me. But in this case here, I mean, this movie is cut and dry 1985 commando plot as you can get. Bad guy comes into town, kills a couple folks. He wants their land. The bad guy kills this woman's husband, so she hires Denzel, the bounty hunter, to go back and reclaim the town. You only see the bad guy 3 times in this entire 2-hour and 15-minute movie or whatever it is. You see him kill the woman's husband, and not really that brutally. At least, you know how films work. And I'm gonna go to the issue on the rating in a minute. In terms of film, it's a visual sound and all of that. So I know sometimes critics say, oh, well, the movie didn't have to be that violent. I think in certain cases when you're dealing with revenge pictures and all that kind of stuff, you either have to have some very serious emotional intensity or you're going to have some really brutal violence. I'm not saying it's got to be Death Wish 2, like gang rapes and all that kind of stuff, but it at least has to be like some very mean, hard to kill, execution style type of killings against good people to really get you emotionally invested. That's just how I feel about the issue. And here, yeah, they kill old boy from Magic Mike and that TV show on USA. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the guy's name with the jet black hair and Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. Yeah, they shoot him and they throw an axe in some woman's back and they kill a couple of people. But it's like depicted so flat, and that comes to the PG-13 rating, that it's like, yeah, it was evil what they did, but I just didn't feel it. Like when I would see Unforgiven and that dude slashed that prostitute's face, you're just like, damn. You know what I mean? You're just like, man, that was jacked up, Or when Gene Hackman whips Morgan Freeman to death. Now, that's a pure case where it's not even graphically violent of Morgan Freeman being beat, but when you see Morgan Freeman up against the bars and he's just like, and Gene Hackman just goes, I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to hurt you bad. You just kind of go like, damn. So there's emotional intensity there. So I kind of felt in this case, both were lacking. The violence wasn't hard enough, and I didn't think the emotional intensity was hard enough, to me. So, and then you see the bad guy again, and then the finale. So, but most of the movie you're with the first half, the whole first act is the whole first big chunk is just the recruiting of the guys, which is okay. Although I didn't think that involving. Really, honestly, only Denzel and Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke, and probably say Vincent D'Onofrio. The one guy who's the Mexican guy and the guy from G.I. Joe Retaliation who throws the knives and stuff, I didn't think those two were that engaging to me. But again, just what it is. But I just didn't feel you were with the bad guy enough to really see his true depths of how evil he was. There's a reveal in the third act that kind of shows the depths that this guy is really atrocious. You know what I mean? And I really like that scene. I'll get to that in a minute before I wrap this up because I'm starting to go on too long. So either way, I think the PG-13 rating was a problem. I think the flat characterization was a problem. And the length, it was just too long. I mean, guys, I'm with stuff. I'll stick with things. But there were a couple moments here where I was just like, man, they need to wrap this up, man. They really need to wrap this up, That was how I felt about it. Flat characters all the way around. And the fact that it's a remake. And it was too long, But I will say, beautifully shot, beautiful music. It hits all. It's very cliched, but that's okay. The actors were having fun. Everybody looked like they were having fun making the movie. The action sequences are good. It's got all the wide camera angles of the horses riding across with the clouds, and you've got Denzel standing real cool with the fire on one side and all the dead bodies behind him, and he just walking, doing his Denzel walk, and he goes, put your hands up. You get all that. So that is cool. And the action is cool. It's just it was too long. The characters weren't involving, and I really think that this movie should have been an R. That's just my humble opinion, because there's times when the bad guys get killed. There's times when good guys are murdered, and you just don't feel it. You know what I mean? And then there's like one part where 2 Native Americans fight, and one guy stabs the other guy, and I'm just like, man, this should have been that Last of the Mohicans moment when he just, stabs him and it goes, and he goes, this is for my father, and cuts his throat and the blood squirts out so you can feel it, and then kick him off the ledge. You know what I mean? That's what you need in these kind of movies. So I felt that was lacking there. But regardless, I really felt they were trying. It was nice to see a Western, which was fun. Django, I thought, was a pretty good Western, but, kind of with Quentin Tarantino's own, fixation with the N-word, it kind of took me in and out of that movie a little bit. It's a fun flick that I'd probably recommend probably like early in the afternoon because, guys, man, look, I went to check this thing out on my day off work just because I just wanted something to do. I put a new review up on my channel. Nobody else was down to go see it, so I was just like, screw it. I'm going to stick this one out. And, it was just so long. I think I went in the thing like at 2, and I'm getting out. It's almost 5 o'clock. It's crazy. But regardless, fun, brainless, time waster. I think next time, just it not be a remake and work on the characterization. So that's my review of The Magnificent Seven. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and leave comments down below about The Magnificent Seven, how you feel about Antoine Fuqua, how you feel about Denzel's performance in the film. I felt he was on cruise control personally, but that's okay because he Denzel and all he needs is the gun and be cool, But RMJ Movie Reviews, I will see you